Weapon description says that it's a bow made out of bones of Hunhow's kin. Hunhow probably being the most powerful entity in the warframe universe, that says a lot. Powerful being for sure, but probably not the best parent considering that 2 of his kids turned out to be suckers for highly manipulative ballast, but that's a whole other story. Nataruk turned out to be lots of fun for me, mostly for its unique mechanic of having charge meters split into 3 zones: quick charge, perfect charge, and full charge. As name suggests, perfect charge has the highest output, but that's not to say that other ones are weak. Quite the contrary, quick charge on its own is devastating, even damage-wise, but it has that cherry on top, it forces an impact proc. And with Nataruk being bow with a relatively low fire rate, you can kinda see where this build is going. Internal bleeding is the name of the game here, and it's my choice to scale Nataruk for steel pad enemies. Rest of the build is kinda what you'd expect. Critical chance, critical damage, viral, multi-shot, and galvanized aptitude. Exile slot is Hush to make it silent for Ivara, and Arcane is primary deadhead, because Ivara likes headshots. Next thing for me to test is 60/60 Toxin mod in there, but this is doing mighty fine, so I can't seem to change it in. Using internal bleeding kinda splits this into 2 fire modes. Quick charge guarantees impact. With, as we mentioned, low fire rate, it has a very high chance to make the bleed happen. So on its own, it can be a huge primer for Galvanized shot and all its benefits. Whether you just spam quick charge attacks or you charge for a perfect strike with all those procs active. Drawback of this is that internal bleeding does not affect the perfect charge, since perfect charge cannot hit an impact proc. So if you focus more on trying to make use of that perfect charge, maybe Hunter Munitions is a better thing for you. Higher critical potential as well as extra damage will sure cause bigger bleed procs. Basically, Hunter Munitions gives you less bleedings with higher potential bleed damage, while internal bleeding gives you near consistent bleed procs on quick charge shots but with less damage per proc. So, choice is yours. But with quick charge being so devastating with it, I kinda don't wanna change it. Perfect shot does have that wide projectile and hell of a high potential to clear anything in its line, but you can't just spam perfect shot each and every time. Takes time to charge it, and also in terms of value, it's kinda satisfying when you do it every now and then when you manage to line up a couple of enemies. My riven helps me use critical delay for higher crit potential, but it's not that impactful since total critical chance on perfect charge is in the low 200s. Not too many ginger crits. Extra critical chance does help more with quick charge though. Damage on a riven is kinda diminished return compared to tons of damage we have in the arcane and galvanized shot, so not really needed, not a perfect stat. But we can't get a perfect riven. At least negative stat is perfect, lowering my maximum ammo. Regular point strike works as well, just this is me overcomplicating things because I happen to get a riven roll with extra fire rate and extra critical chance. As you watch me struggle to aim at 60 FPS, as that's maximum I can get while I'm recording 1440p video, you probably noticed how this build plays out in general. If enemy survives the first hit, then they have multiple status effects to them, so consecutive hit is likely to blast him to pieces. And I find it fun, because it feels like 2 fire modes priming for each other and complementing each other. Both fire modes have solid status capabilities. It's quite frequent to have 2 to 4 procs on the enemy after a shot. Interesting design choice is that perfect and fully charged shots do not have any extra headshot multiplier. It will trigger things that depend on headshots, just no extra damage. Unless you use Ivara, then yes, extra headshot damage. Yes, to a lot of it. And that's in part a reason why this weapon grew on me. Actual bows in general struggle in this game, not talking about explosive bows, because this is a horde shooter and on full alert it can be hectic, so it's just hard to argue to put those bows in your primary slot when you have hit scan weapons you can fit there and also explosive weapons. But for chill missions with Ivara, it's perfect fun times for me. Makes me wish there was a 3rd firearm slot in the game specifically for non-explosive bows. That's it for this one. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.